Ladies and gentlemen, the Old School RuneScape Winter Summit just aired and revealed some of the things that Jagex are working on with RuneScape in the first half of this year. An area expansion in the southern part of Zaya called Varlamore, a wilderness update, some new quests, Deadman mode, and a rat that will change the way we play RuneScape forever. And that's what I want to talk about. When you think of training combat in RuneScape, your mind probably defaults to passively doing it whilst doing Slayer, AFKing something like crabs, or maybe even in the Nightmare Zone. Jagex don't want this anymore. And I don't mean they're getting rid of it. Jagex wanted to introduce an actually engaging and efficient way to train combat. And this is how they're doing it. Scurrius is the new entry-level PVM boss, and it's coming out in just a couple days. January the 24th, 2024. That's right around the corner. This boss is intended for early to mid-level players and will introduce them to the core mechanics of PVM.
Test your knowledge of overhead prayers, your dodging skills, and your ability to manage multiple monsters during a fight.
It will also introduce 3 new weapons. You got the Ratbone Mace, the Ratbone Staff, and the Ratbone Bow. Try saying that 10 times as quick as possible. All of these weapons can be made from various parts of the Rat King's carcass. Pretty f***ed up, but standard for RuneScape. It's what we expected. These weapons can only be used against Scurrius or other rat-type NPCs, and off the top of my head, I can't think of any that you'd want to do other than brine rats on a Slayer task. Impressively, these weapons are boasted to add up to 10 max hits against rat-type NPCs, leading to significantly more XP per hour while training combat. It's a big departure from AFKing, especially if you're a max efficiency Andy, which I'm sure at least 75% of the Old School RuneScape player base are. Yeah. Before I get into the detail behind this, I just want to take a moment to appreciate how big brain this is from Jagex. For any regular players of pretty much any MMORPG, you'll know that when a new boss is introduced with new drops, rewards, or weapons, that typically comes with power creep and the economy goes to whack. But the way Jagex are introducing Scurrius really avoids disrupting all of those things, whilst offering a pretty self-sustainable encounter. Let's get into the detail. The weapons. Thankfully, none of these weapons are going to have charges, and they all perform similarly to their mid-level counterparts. The staff has stats similar to a mystic staff. You'll need 35 crafting to attach a part of this rat's body to a battle staff. It does have a built-in spell. The bow performs similarly to a magic short bow, and you'll need 35 fletching and a U short bow to create it. The bow will still use traditional ammunition, and it can fire arrows up to rune. Lastly, the mace is comparable to the dragon mace and will require 35 smithing in addition to a rune mace to put together. All of these weapons have a level 50 requirement in their respective combat style and perform best against the Rat King itself. I mean, they look pretty good. I'm not sure how I feel about the aesthetic of them.
Like, is the staff firing cheese? I want it to be clear. Can we make that a thing? Is it too late for Jagex to make the staff shoot cheese?
I'm excited to see what they actually perform like in game. The rewards. Here's where I think this gets interesting, because not only will the passive XP you gain while defeating Scurrius be better than you'll get in pretty much most other PVM encounters, Scurrius also drops Chaos and Death runes, Adamant and Rune arrows, as well as quote-unquote a bunch of other goodies like rune items and standard supply drops that will go a long way towards helping you gather enough GP to upgrade your gear. So it really seems like Jagex are avoiding that common mistake of bulking skilling supplies behind PVM drops, which not only kind of tanks their value, but makes it almost more efficient to just do PVM than it is to go out of your way and skill to do them yourself sometimes. It looks like this boss's drops are focused actually just around sustaining the combat supplies you use while fighting it, as well as providing you just a steady growth of GP. I think that's really healthy. I'm imagining the drops will be quite similar to that of, like Obor and Brio Fighter, maybe just a tier above that, because the difficulty of this boss is going to be a little higher, as well as it being a members only boss. But still, I don't think we should expect anything groundbreaking when it comes to the GP per hour here. What I also think is brilliant though, and a great way to reward shitty RNG on bosses, which let's be honest, we've all had, is the opportunity to trade in any spare rat parts you get for experience lamps that you can use on combat, even prayer. And that's especially exciting because prayer can easily become one of the most annoying skills to level in the mid game, going from your overhead prayers all the way over to piety really being your next aim. While this all sounds great, it is designed for early to mid game players. Jagex have roughly mentioned combat levels between 60 and 90 in their news post, with higher level players still finding better experience and GP rates in later gaming encounters, which, you know, makes sense. As I mentioned before, Scurrius will be a members only boss and will also come with its own pet, Scurry. We don't actually know what the boss pet looks like right now, so yeah, I think Jagex will go with this. With Scurrius only being a matter of days away now, I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into it and sharing what my experience looks like with you guys. And I think that the content itself fills a really important gap in the combat level journey of RuneScape. But what do you guys think? Rat King, thumbs up, thumbs down? Drop it in the comments below and I guess we'll see what the general consensus is. Now, there was plenty more covered on the Winter Summit and I would love to cover those. So if it's something you're interested in seeing, drop a like on this video and I'll know to include it in future videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!
Now he is back in full force.